Hey, it's Nick, live from the office once again, and this time around I actually feel pretty good. So, this is another in my saga of Raspberry Pi videos. And sorry if I look up, I'm looking at the screen to see myself talking. But, oh, and as always, I want to preface this by saying that I might smoke on camera, but here's a bag of tobacco. I am one of the very few people in the world who smokes tobacco out of a pipe. So, no funny business. So, the last time I left you guys, I was a little bit down. I had gotten quite a few negative messages from people in the Raspberry Pi community. And I did my video, I tried to explain my point, and luckily I think I've won over quite a large number of the people who had kind of like negative thoughts and negative, they said negative things, and all the rest. I still have a couple of people who, you know, aren't so sure about what I'm doing, but that's fine, you know. I mean, anytime you're doing anything, there's going to be people who think that what you're doing is, I don't know, whatever. Who cares? But I wanted to do this video to kind of update you on what my thoughts were, and because of like some of the input and some of the messages that people sent me and stuff, I've been going around in my head like thinking like, okay, how can I please some more of these people, and how can I improve my design? So I haven't been able to lower the price yet. I'm still looking for better distributors of things. But I think I will have a price drop soon because I have already studied on how to design my power system. Oh, sorry for the bloop. I'm in a tiny chat room. So I've already been able to figure out the power design, and on top of that, I decided to, originally I said that there were going to be 2 component areas on the back of the screen, and I decided to go with 1 box on the back of the screen. And at the same time, by doing that, I was able to free up some space, and now I'm happy to say that I'm going to be putting on a 5-port Ethernet switch onto the system. So that's awesome. In addition to the Wi-Fi. And I'll get into that in a minute. Here's Raspberry Pi mock-up. But let me get to first. So I've decided to design a number of systems so that everybody can be happy. And so I know that the one that I've been creating, it's been for me. It was for me, and I thought that maybe somebody out there would want the same. So, I mean, maybe somebody will, maybe somebody won't. You know, it's totally up to you out there. You know, let your dollar speak. If you buy one, cool. If you don't, whatever. But some of the design and some of the parts that are required in a portable system require more money because the parts are different. But I understand that maybe people want a cheaper setup. So I've decided on a large number of Raspberry Pi systems. Okay, so I've been trying to design the portable version, which I'm pretty sure I have it all mastered. I've done a mock-up, and I know where all the parts go, and I have them fitting within a nice area. So I think I have most of the information laid out and all of the designs figured out for that I can kind of move on and at least start to let myself think about different designs. So right below that system, the portable system, there'll be one that's priced significantly lower than that, and it will be one that plugs into the wall at your home, and in that way it can be cheaper. So the screen isn't going to be a portable screen. It will be like probably in the range of like 14-15 inch screen. It will have the exact same design specifications as the one I'm thinking of, minus some of the power circuitry stuff, but you guys don't care about that. But the basic specifications. Oh, I think that's a text from my girlfriend. But I'll wait. I'll continue the video. Those design specifications, you know, like the well, the screen resolution will be different, of course. It'll probably be actually better. But the portable screens, like the screen size is this for the portable version, and that's the box for the Raspberry Pi system. And there's an area across the top so that the Wi-Fi antenna can sit within that notch and not be damaged when you're not using it. And then, you know, you can flip it up and then, you know, get better Wi-Fi connectivity. Oh, and that port will also be accessible, that Wi-Fi antenna, so that you can hook up, you know, like, say you want to do some crazy bi-quad antenna. Here, let me see. Mine is taken apart at the moment, but say you want to do a gigantic, crazy network dish with a bi-quad antenna on the back. You could access that port and do something like that if you wanted to. That's my bi-quad antenna right there. So you could do stuff like that. It'll be extremely expandable still. But the one that's significantly priced lower than that, it'll have a screen that plugs into the wall. It'll have a AC to DC adapter that you plug into the wall, and then you use it from there. Then, priced below that one will be another portable system. A portable one that's actually cheaper than my one with a screen. And the reason why is it'll run off standard batteries, most likely AA's. And some of the power circuitry and designs are very different and a lot easier with a system like that. But it won't have a screen. So basically, you'll be able to control it still with a little mini... Oh, in the home version, it'll have, like, you know, a regular mouse and a regular keyboard. But then the next step down, which will be cheaper than that one even still, that home version, you know. So first we've got like the completely portable version. Then we have a home version that's priced a little bit less, that has a screen. Then below that, and that home version will have a regular keyboard and mouse. Then below that, we'll have a system that's very much like the portable version, except for it will take standard, probably AA batteries. It will most likely look exactly like this, maybe just slightly different, because some of the ports will need to be in different places than I'm placing them inside of this. So it might be slightly different. But it will be priced less because some of that power circuitry is a lot different, and I don't have to do some of the same things with the system. And of course, without including a screen, that price will be way lower. But of course, the RCA composite will be easily accessible, as will be the HDMI port, so that you can hook it into a screen whenever you show up somewhere. But while you're on the go, you can go ahead and use that wireless keyboard and mouse. It has media controls on it, like volume, and skip to the next track and things like that. So you could use it as like a media player, and at the same time you could like war drive with it. You know, you got it plugged in at home, and you unplug it. It's still running off the batteries, and you go off and you war drive or war bike or whatever, because you got like a 1 to 1.5 watt Wi-Fi card on it. So, and then priced even further below that, I will have basic kits that, and these will be the ones that probably a lot of people want, because it'll be priced very, very low. It'll be priced even below that because it won't have a battery option. It will just plug straight into the wall. It'll likely just be in its own small case. You'll have to hook up your own TV. You'll have to get your own keyboard and mouse. But I might make different options, you know, like a really low-end option where, you know, it doesn't have a keyboard and mouse, and maybe one that's just a little bit above that, but it does have a keyboard and mouse, and maybe even a Wi-Fi adapter. But whatever, that will be the lowest section of a system. So basically, at the very low end, you're going to have a basic system that doesn't really have much included. Above that, you'll have a portable system that doesn't have a screen, that is run off batteries, will be something in the range of this. It will probably be smaller because in a portable thing, I think that probably people don't want or won't need a Ethernet switch. So that's a large chunk of the design that'll be taken out. So things, I still have a lot of thoughts to go through on how that will be designed. But then above that will be this basic design in a non-portable version that plugs into the wall and comes with a HDMI screen. And then finally, there will be the cream of the crop, which is a portable version, which this is the size of the screen, this is the size of the Pi. Of course, the screen's a little bit thicker than that. I haven't had time to make a mock-up of that, but it'll be probably in like that size or something. It'll be a 10-inch screen with a 5-port Ethernet switch, Wi-Fi that comes up out of here. The antenna lays across this elbow, and then you can raise it up, and then at the same time you'll have a number of Ethernet ports. I'm not sure where those will be placed yet. Maybe up top, maybe at the bottom, maybe on the side. The switch that I'm thinking about using is almost square, so I can basically rotate that in any orientation that I want. Most likely, probably the best place would be is off the side, you know, so that you can set it down on a table, use it. You could get a bunch of Ethernet ports off of it. You could pick up Wi-Fi here, and you know, you could like start a LAN party with this little teeny device. You know, you can plug in a few of your friends, and you know, say you find some place with Wi-Fi. All the rest of your friends have some kind of computer or another. Say, hey, I got the connection. You know, say you wanted to do, you know, a death match over the internet and with those guys on wire or on a wired LAN, whatever. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. But that's the basics of what I'm updating you on, is that I am trying to develop systems that are cheaper, because I know all you guys, you don't all want portable systems like this. Yeah, that's going to be the system. It's going to be like, you know, a little bit thicker than that, because this is the Raspberry Pi module itself, and it'll sit behind the screen. And everything will be inside of this Raspberry Pi full system. You know, it will have a 5-port Ethernet switch, because actually, then the reason why I did that is because I had to put the Ethernet port somewhere else. So I thought, you know, like, what's the cost of a 5-port switch as opposed to doing a bunch of extra wiring and putting a port somewhere? And I figured out that the price was almost the same, and it actually makes it a little bit easier on me to just include a 5-port switch. So, ooh. So you get a 5-port switch on there. The USB ports will come out of the top. You know, like on one end you'll have the antenna coming over, and here you'll have 3 available USB ports that are powered, so you can hook up, you know, some higher power devices or whatever. One of those ports will usually be occupied by the wireless keyboard mouse transmitter. But of course, if you want to use your own keyboard and mouse, you could just use 2 of those ports to do that, and then have 1 port left over to, say, hook up, I don't know, an SD card reader, or say, I don't know, any sort of test equipment that goes over USB if you're doing some kind of test work. And at the same time, I'm trying to figure out a way. I think the Pi would be somewhere in this area here. Trying to think of a way to make that accessible so that you could get to the GPIO port connections. So that's something that I'm still working on. But here's the basic mock-up so far. Of course, the screen's a little bit thicker, so it's But, oh, and I had a book sitting right here. I'm sure you guys probably don't have this in your library. I haven't read it yet. Alexandra Lapierre's Artemisia. And check that out. Raspberry Pi, the size of a book. And I'm not even sure if that's how thick it's going to be yet. This is a really basic mock-up of what I think the size will be of the computer system. So, lots of fun. Yay! And I have the power circuitry figured out, so that's already out of the way. And hopefully I can get the parts pretty cheap and I can lower that price even more. Yeah, so fully flexible Linux system, portable system, coming your way with high power Wi-Fi, as in 1 to 1.5 watts, with an antenna coming off of the thing. Not just some cheap antenna that's on the inside of the thing. It's going to have a real antenna and access so that you could, say, hook up crazy bi-quad antennas and things. So that's going to be possible. You're going to have 3 powered USB ports. You're going to have 5 Ethernet ports from a switch on the inside of the thing. I don't think I'm doing too bad of a job so far. 1000 by 24 by 1024 by 600 resolution on the screen. A small keyboard and trackpad to control the whole thing that has media center type controls on it. 8 gig card with Fedora Remix already loaded on that sucker. Everything fully tested. Everything personally assembled by myself and rewired for its power requirements. It should be nice and clean. You shouldn't, have... As far as I know so far, okay, some of the wires might have to come out just a little bit and reconnect with the TV, but who knows? I am really thinking about going straight through into the television from this case and connecting those things. That way there's absolutely nothing. Oh, and there will be a switch, because there will be a switch for the screen, on the screen itself, and there will be a switch here to turn on or off the Raspberry Pi. That way you can just turn off the screen and leave the Pi running, which only takes up about 5 watts. Wow. So you should have 1.5 to 2 hours of runtime with both of them on at the same time, but if you turn off that screen, you'll probably get tons of runtime. I mean, like maybe 5 hours or something on the battery alone. And the input's a standard 12 volts. If you have the screen running, you'll need around 30 watts to get it going and running and charging at the same time. So if you're thinking about solar and running this thing all the time, that's what you'd need, is at least 30 watts to keep it going. Otherwise, there will be an included power adapter to plug into the wall to keep it running and to charge it and everything. But then at the same time, you could take just a regular everyday car lighter adapter inside your car and bring it to that, because it's 12 volts and almost all cars are 12 volts. So bam, completely flexible, solar ready, it's gonna be cool. And I've had a lot of positive feedback, had a lot of views on that video that I did talking about how I should be reimbursed for my work. So I'm really happy about the whole project. I hope you're happy with it, and hopefully soon I'll be dropping the price. I'm already thinking, because I've figured out the circuit design on the power, that I should be able to find some parts that aren't too expensive and drop the price soon. And if anybody does a pre-sale on it, if I am able to drop that price between now and production time, if you pay that, and I figure out that my price can be lower, and if I I'll lower that price on eBay, and anybody who does do a pre-sale, if I drop that price, I'm gonna refund the difference. So bang. But for now, I'm saying 400, just because I know that that's an amount that I'm comfortable with saying. So maybe those prices will lower. And if I get enough people saying they want some, I'll produce more than the 6 that I'm planning right now. And if I can bulk buy items, I can definitely drop that price. And once I start putting them together, if I find out that my assembly time is less than I thought it was, again, I'll drop that price. Because I'm not trying to make it rich here. I'm just trying to get paid for my time. And I enjoy doing this. This is a lot of fun. I mean, to have a fully functional, high-power Wi-Fi with tons of Ethernet ports, 3D capable, pretty good resolution screen. And some people have asked, why did I select 10-inch? Because I think that that's just enough to where you're not having to squint on the darn thing. And the resolution's just enough that it's not unbearable. 1024 by 600 is a little bit less compared to some screens, but in 10-inch, it's just enough that it's big enough that you can see everything, and that resolution is just good enough to where you can see everything. So this has been lots of fun. Thanks for all the positive feedback, everybody. And I'm going to keep building it. I'm going to keep perfecting the design, and hopefully soon, well, by September, I'll have it finished. And definitely I'm going to be making more mock-ups with actual components. And the actual Raspberry Pi, once I start doing more in-depth mock-ups, it's going to be a dummy load of 3 watts. And an advantage to the fact that I'm doing a dummy load of 3 watts is all of my power circuitry I'm going to have to make more robust, and I'm going to have to build in more safeties in the way of diodes. So the finished product will be very, once I actually put a Pi in there, it's going to be very safe in that setup because of the fact that I don't have a Pi and I'm going to be doing a dummy load. So stay tuned. Hopefully sometime soon I'll have an actual project box with some things in here and a dummy load for the Raspberry Pi, and you'll get to see it and see it in semi-action, but it'll most likely just be like an LED light that takes 3 watts that represents the Raspberry Pi. But hopefully sometime soon. And maybe if somebody's in the area of Gillespie, Illinois, and you have a Raspberry Pi and you think that my project is interesting, then why not let me borrow it for a second? That would be awesome. That, I could replace that dummy load with an actual Raspberry Pi. So stay tuned. It'll probably be a little while before I do another Pi video. I just wanted to give an update on this stuff because I'd like to have more substantial things to show you. If there's news in the Raspberry Pi community, I'll do another vlog. But for now, I'm going to put that project not aside, but on my vlogs I'm going to put it aside so that I can have something really cool and really substantial to show you next time. So that ends it. I've been going on forever and ever. I just feel good about the project again. I'm having fun with it again. So, in the words of my favorite YouTube musical artist, the ukulele, push the button.